But all right. Well, hey, welcome to the show before the show, where I check to make sure everything is working. I'm your host, Patrick Marlette, with co-host Will down here today.
What's up?
Because we are playing a game. So if you guys haven't heard about Balatro, oh damn, you're in for a treat. This game's amazing. Will bought the game, which is great. He thought he was streaming it. I'm streaming it. Don't worry, Will. But you should still play it. Play the game.
I probably will.
Okay, because this game is shout out to Justin for suggesting this game. He suggested Slay the Spire a million times to me, and I'm like, I'm never going to play that. But he suggested this, and I'm like, okay, it's cheap, it's fresh, it's new, all the kids are talking about it. I'll give it a go. It's amazing. I don't know why I'm so addicted to it, but you'll see why it's addicting in a second. Hope you like addiction. But yeah, Will, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Long, crazy, and busy day, but not too bad. Also, still a little bit happy because my birthday was yesterday. So
What the hell?
I'm
Happy
a whole
birthday!
year older.
How does it feel?
I've gotten, or I'm 25 now, so I've gotten quarter way through, as my brother says.
Yeah. Have you had a quarter life crisis yet? Those are fun.
Nah.
No.
I've been too busy with work to worry about life.
You haven't been questioning your identity or worried about which pants to wear the next day or whatever. I don't know. What do 25-year-olds concern themselves with? I'm not that far off. But my quarter life crisis, I did have one, but I'm glad you're not. I'm gonna open your pack first. Sorry. Feel free to keep talking.
Well, I'm interested in the pack, Patrick.
I'm sorry.
So distracted.
So, in case you guys are wondering, I'm hoping to open a couple of sweet jokers from these packs. Maybe some planet cards, maybe some tarot cards. Will saying what I'm saying in a second. But
The funny thing is, I do get the reference because I at least know a little bit about the game.
Okay, good. It's so fun, and we'll talk about the game in a second. But this is Game and Chat, which is still in the show before the show territory. With every live stream we do here, you can expect it to be recorded, that the sound bites from it will do way better. But if you're attending the live, congratulations. You found a great live streaming channel on YouTube. At least we're consistent with the TCG content, but we are also an MTG ambassador, so I have all these packs over here. So we're going to open them on stream. I don't know if that's what Watsy wants me to do with them, but that's what I'm going to do with them. It's also just entertaining for me, mildly. But I also I have 2 boxes. We're not going to make this an unboxing stream, I promise. But I have 2 boxes of Star Wars Unlimited, like, in the other room. And I know you don't give a shit about the game, Will, but I'm excited.
Not invested in it yet. I might in the future, though.
Should we go backwards? Because, like, the good stuff is always on top.
We can go backwards
Let's
if you
go
want.
backwards. Let's go backwards. You got Hazda Vigilante. I'm sure that's how that's pronounced. You have Toxin Analysis. I did not see this art. This is MKM, by the way. Maybe we have Fallout coming. I haven't seen an email. FedEx, Watsy, please. Still love us. Don't forget us. We've got Toxin Analysis. V2 Ghazi Inspector. Yes, of course. Gravestone Strider. Looks awesome. Activate only once per turn. You want a mana fix, Will? You want a color fix? Only once per turn.
Should be fine.
Hey, Joshua. Agency Outfitter. All the Sphinx cards for that one Sphinx legendary we played recently. What was his name again?
Unesh.
Oh, yes, Unesh. We have Wrench.
Yeah, I got the wrench.
You have Curious Cadaver. You've got a Forest Will, and what else do you got? Ooh, Neighborhood Guardian. Persuasive Interrogators. Undercity Sewers, look at you.
Oh, there's the surveil. Nice.
There's this. Oh, how great is Robert?
Off.
Yeah, let's just keep trying to push that, even though people don't want to hear it at all. Sorry. And lastly, Foreboding Streamboat.
I didn't even know that was a card.
I'm sorry. Not lastly. So you have that.
That's from one of the commander precons. That's why I probably don't recognize it.
The Steamboat. Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
The set symbol.
War Leader's Call. Okay.
Nice. I think that's it.
Josh, yeah, the lands from this are amazing.
Hey! Is that foil or is that just plain?
Will, not only is it foil, it is the alternate art for Lazov.
It's funny.
Is this a sign?
It's funny because I bought a non-foil alternate art,
Are you serious?
not knowing we were getting this product.
Well, if you don't want it, Will, all you have to say is that.
I mean, hey, if you want that one, I'm willing to let you use that one. I'm down.
We made that Lazov and it was kind of gross, but I'm not gonna lie, I actually found Kiri more entertaining, although Lazov is probably the more competitive deck.
No, Patrick, just build all the viable 2-drop commanders. That can be your thing.
You know what's Oh, you just think my CDH strategy is just like go as low curve as possible.
Kennen, you got Oswald,
right.
You got Kiri.
Okay, yeah. Forget trying to remake Teshar. We don't want that.
Teshar's 4 mana. You think we play those plebeian CMC values?
I want to consistently hit my commander turn 1. You never know when a Drown is going to hit. But Josh is right. I think that pack was probably money. Between the foil land and the Lazov, I assume that Lazov is played, but because... like legendaries that go in the command zone for commander, they don't typically fetch a high price. Like it really depends. Like if it's one of the partners, because those cards haven't been reprinted in a while, except for Thrasios, I feel like those prices are usually in the double digits, but they're like the commanders are never expensive, I guess is all I'm really driving at here. I'm gonna open one pack for myself and then we'll play Balatro and talk Magic and whatever the hell else we want to talk about.
So Patrick, to give a little bit more credence to what I was saying, you remember one of your old remember one of your old CDH decks that you used to play, or two of your old CDH decks you used to play? Sithis and Belby, both 2 CMC commanders.
Wow, I think I already made it my thing. And Tiny Bones.
Yeah, was Tiny Bones 1 or 2? I think it's 2. Yeah.
I think Tiny Bones is a generic and a black. Do you know I still get people commenting and liking and asking me questions about that deck on Moxfield? I haven't closed that previous Moxfield account out that I have, and I get notifications all the time. I don't know why I've left the notifiers up. I really should just turn that shit off, because it's like I don't know, I don't play the deck anymore. I'm sorry. I'm sure it's great though. There's a new Tiny Bones. Let's maybe...
Oh, that new Tiny Bones is gross.
Is he good?
Yeah, it's Luris, but for your opponent's graveyard, and it doesn't care about CMC.
I would have to look at this. I noticed it was there. It seemed like it was a once per turn sort of deal or something that was limiting.
Yeah, it's once per turn if it connects with an opponent. But it's a 1/1 Death Toucher, and you can just politic to do some gross stuff if you need to.
I know this is a Pat pack when there's a Plains. It doesn't add up. We have demand answers. This is strictly better of Thrill of Possibility.
Yeah.
Right. Hey, look, and it's is it foily? This is the most subtle foiling I've ever seen, dude. Your Lazov, it was hard to tell at first too, but this is foil.
Is it just like the... Oh, yeah, it's the like trim
I mean?
inside of the inside the glass. I see it.
We have Aurelia, the Law Above. Oh, God. Get ready to never be played. Okay, Kylox Volstrider.
I saw that card and I remembered that it was interesting. I can't remember what it does, though.
Collect Evidence 6. Kylox Volstrider becomes an artifact creature until end of turn. When Kylox Volstrider attacks, it may cast an instant or sorcery spell from among cards exiled with it. If the spell would be put into a graveyard, okay.
Yeah, it's a flashback. That's why I thought it was interesting.
And then we have Armed with Proof, Will.
Oh, nice.
Enters battlefield and investigate twice. Yes, exactly what you need. Clues you control are equipment, and they give you +2/+0. Where? Oh, wait, there's more. Analyze the pollen.
Nice.
Is it foil? I cannot.
I don't think so.
I cannot tell, but I've got one more card, and it's Assassin's Trophy.
That's
reprint,
a foil,
baby.
Full border Assassin's Trophy. That's money.
I have to assume, right? Do people still play Assassin's Trophy?
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
The issue is people don't play green.
Well, I might be playing Kennen, who doesn't want this card.
Yeah, it's hopefully green gets more play with Nuka-Cola vending machine because it gives
my gosh,
another win con.
Did Fallout release yet, or is it?
I believe so.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Well, I didn't need another copy of Assassin's Trophy, so I don't know.
Well, now you can get rid of your old one because that's the cool one.
No, 100%. Actually, I want to look at that art again. Hold on. God, that looks so good. To be honest, I didn't know it was reprinted. I kind of just ignore it. I try to ignore the reprints when new sets come out because we don't need to talk about reprints. But anyways, so we've got I guess we could officially start. Well, hey, welcome to Local Game Group. I'm your host, Patrick Marlette, your local game guy, with fellow local game guy, Will.
So,
hello, Will. All right,
hello.
So for all of you watching the live, thanks. For those of you tuning in afterwards, also thanks. But more importantly, next weekend, I will be out of town come Friday, and I will be co-hosting an event called, let me just pull it up for you guys.
March of the Mortals?
It is. Oh,
I remembered.
I don't even have a screen sharing it. It is a March of the Mortals on the 16th with Drew from On The Play. So if you want to watch a really good live streamed event, and this is maybe a humble brag, I'm assuming it's going to be really good. And not really because I'm there, really because the whole thing, like, Drew went above and beyond to set up what is sure to be an amazing live stream. I'm just going to be there, and I'm excited for it. So if you want to see some sorcery gameplay and get some hopefully decent commentary, tune into that. You can check it out on The Play here on YouTube. At any rate, outside of that, today we're playing Balatro, Will. You say you know about this game. Tell me what you know about this game.
I know that it's a game that's basically playing digital poker with extra cards added in that you can use to combine and upgrade your cards to play better. It's like a roguelike poker experience that has a bunch of extra things added in because it's digital, so it can do fun stuff.
Well, that's not even the half of it. Actually, that's the whole of it, really. So basically, you have decks that you can play through, right? So, actually, I'm in the middle of a run, but I'll start a new one. So I'm still new to this, basically, but what I'm trying to do is play through all of the initial decks at their set difficulty. And then I'm just going to go, once I get through all of these, I haven't unlocked all the decks yet. But once I do that, then I figured out up the difficulty and play through these lists. Basically, it just makes the game harder, like any game, but in a lot of cases, it's, you're absent a discard, you're absent a playable hand, you're absent earning money. It's, I don't even know if I would enjoy those levels of difficulty. I'm sort of just enjoying the mathing of this game, because it really doesn't matter if you have a straight flush. Like, that's not always the best hand. You could just have a deck of jokers that gives your, two pair, like, the best multipliers and bonuses to be the strongest hand ever. And obviously, like, the probability of that is higher than a straight flush. But if you know nothing about poker, that's okay. There's actually a little guide that I'll bring up as we go into a run here that will tell you every single poker hand that's playable. So you can operate off of that. With that, it tells you how many times you've played those hands during a run, but it also lets you know how many points you get for playing that hand. At any rate, let's start a run, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Well, you have no idea. As soon as Allie and I, slip into bed, I put on the Balatro and I ignore her. I just straight up ignore her. So this is what I'm talking about. So you have poker hands. High card, obviously, just the highest thing you put down. Pair, it's exactly what it sounds like. Two pair, also exactly what it sounds like. Three of a kind. Guess what? It's three cards, same kind. Straight, it's just consecutive ranks or numbers. Jack is beyond 10. I'm going to assume you all know what regular playing cards look like. It's a 52 card deck, and there's 4 suits, and it all makes sense. Is it weird that I don't know. I like explaining things to people, I've found, and sometimes I explain things that probably don't need explanation. I would like to assume that everyone knows what poker cards look like, though, right? What do you think, Will?
Yeah. I mean, hopefully people have seen playing cards at some point in their life, considered that it's like one of the most sold products in all of America.
Mm-hmm.
And all over the world, more or less.
So I don't know. We could play this hand. So what you're doing is really balancing there's a couple things going on here. So if you look at the left-hand side of the screen, we're fighting the small blind. So basically, I have 3 playable hands. I have up to 3 discards. I can discard up to 5 cards. So I'm looking at this and saying, well, we're kind of close to a straight flush here. Sans the ace if we have a 10, jack, and king. But that's kind of far off. You can organize by rank or suit, and we're 1 away from having just a flush. So maybe I'll discard to see if I can't find that heart. But when you play a round and you succeed, like you score more points than what the blind is, you get to get dollars or gold. I think they call it gold in this game, but it's a dollar value. You get gold based off of the amount of discards you had left, the amount of hands you have left. And then there's also something called interest, like the amount of money you have just in your pot at the end of a round. So if you don't spend money, you earn more money because of interest. Okay, that's it. I'm done explaining. Will, let's talk Magic.
All right. Well, we just had the Fallout set come out. I believe that it's been released, but
Joshua says tomorrow officially.
There we go. Okay, so it's being officially released tomorrow. I know that the release date was coming up. I've been so busy that I lost track of it. But
yep. Did I get that?
We've covered the commanders from the set so far, but we haven't covered the general random good cards. So I kind of wanted to give my walkthrough of notable things that I really liked and let you give your opinions on those, Patrick.
And I'll tell you if you're right or wrong, Will. How about that? Well, no, I'm just kidding. I'm sure you're right. I'm sure you're mostly right. We'll see.
Well, first in the card that you've kind of been slowly fanboying more and more over, which is pre-war formal wear.
Oh, yeah. I mean, at least I'm advocating it on the Discord. By the way, yes, it's a good card. Someone asked, like, is this a good card? I don't know if it's worth playing. Sorry. Well, say what it is. Sorry.
So it's a 2 and a white for an artifact equipment with equip cost 3. ETB, return target creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield and attach this to it. The equipped creature gets +2/+2 and vigilance. Why do you like it, Patrick?
Well, obviously this looks like really good Teshar fodder, and I'm a fan of the bird. Even though I don't play the bird anymore, I still consider those sweet, sweet combos. But really, we're seeing more and more of this from white. I love revival mechanics, and white black for the longest time has gotten the lion's share of amazing reanimate spells. But white originally was known for its, doesn't it have one of the first reanimate cards? What is it called?
The angelic something.
Not even that. There's a really shitty sorcery that just recovers a thing. Sorry, that's not fair. It has
the 4 mana one, the 4 mana reanimate.
I think that's an older card. It's been reprinted a few times, but white used to be known for it, but now it's getting more and more of them. The one I personally like is the one from Brothers War, which I'm forgetting. It's 2 CMC sorcery that does a similar thing. It gets you a 3 CMC thing from your graveyard. If it's an artifact creature, it gets +2/+2, or something like that.
It's you can bring back a artifact or a creature with CMC 3 or less from your graveyard to the field.
But if it's an artifact
creature, it enters with a counter, I believe.
I think if it's an artifact creature, I don't remember. It's it doesn't matter. At any rate, we're seeing more of them, and I'm excited to see more of them because I like reanimate spells. This is just a really solid one that is immediately playable, even outside of a combo. It's also just a good Savine's Reclamation card, right? If there's I could see this being a combo piece in the future for something that requires you to have an artifact to sacrifice, and it being the thing you bring back with Savine's Reclamation that gets you another thing that's the sack outlet. Do you know what I mean? It's just a good card. There's a lot of combo potential there in the future. Outside of Teshar, there's nothing immediately coming to mind for me right now, but it will just ease a lot of combos for you, essentially.
Yeah,
but
one thing people talked about with this was Leonin Relic Warder, because
thank you.
Exile this with Leonin, and then when you sacrifice Leonin to any effect, it returns this reanimating Leonin, and then repeat.
Dude.
So white can do the animate dead loop by itself now, as long as it has any infinite sack win con like Blasting Station or Altar of Dementia.
You know what's freaking awesome. The fact that it could do that by itself now.
Yeah.
Makes it...
White has more combos. Let's go.
Breath of Life, Joshua, thank you. And yeah, someone brought that up on the Discord. I'm like, there's got to be a combo for this. And then someone actually put their mind to it because I was too lazy to figure it out. But like, thank God. It's actually a really sweet combo. Is there a deck that you could see that just slots immediately into the Leonin Relic Warder? I mean, I guess that's what the Savine's line is, right? And then your commander is an outlet, I guess, like an aristocrat.
I think that there's a good amount of decks that will just accidentally run the pre-war formal wear and Leonin loop, because there's a lot of decks that will just do the animate dead loop and will want to potentially run the formal wear to have a little bit more recursion, because it's an unearth. It's an unearth with benefits, so it's just nice.
Do you want to see what a shitty hand looks like? So this is the big blind, Will. And the big blind says all spades cards are debuffed, which is to say they don't do anything. Sorry.
They're disabled.
They're disabled, which is kind of rude of you to say, Will.
I'm sorry.
They're just not working right now. They're totally fine.
So they're jobless.
They're jobless, yes, exactly. It's just like it's like those damn those elephants that aren't Loxodon.
Oh yeah.
It's so useless, worthless. Like, get a job already, you elephant.
How are the spades debuffed? They're elephants.
Yeah, I don't. That doesn't mean you shouldn't play them, because you could still I could still do a 2-pair here, right, and get the benefit of the other card. But that's not really a great hand. Although I think if I played 8s, if the played hand contains 2 or more 8s, I don't know. I want to try that. What you can do in this game is play out hands with cards that don't add to the actual combination or the hand, but if they're there, they still offer you a benefit, namely stone cards in this game. But I think I'll kick the 8 because I just want a stronger play here. Okay. Huh. Anyway, sorry.
Moving to the next Fallout card, we have a card that you brought up in a good bit, which is Nerd Rage.
Oh, someone told us while we were playing Curie, or making Curie, to consider Nerd Rage. And I'm like, I thought it was complete bullshit. I didn't know what they were talking about. No, it's actually quite good. I just didn't know it was an actual card.
So, for those who don't know, Nerd Rage is 2 and a blue for an enchant aura, and it enchants a creature. When it enters, you draw 2 cards. An enchanted creature has, you have no maximum hand size, and whenever this creature attacks, if you have 10 or more cards in hand, it gets +10/+10 until end of turn. So it's a 3-mana draw 2, kinda bad.
Full house,
baby. Permanent, meaning that you can bounce it, loop it, do some stupid stuff with that here and there, and grind some value. Also giving you no maximum hand size, and potentially making your commander just clock someone for half of their needed commander damage to kill them. This card's gross. It does a little bit of everything.
Just to roll it back to that really good artifact equipment, Josh was saying Cass Hand of Vengeance, who we kind of shat on during the legendary review. Remember her? Isn't that the Boros legend that does combo? It just has the most convoluted wording. I just didn't.
Yeah. So whenever Cass or another creature you control dies, if it was enchanted or equipped, return any number of aura cards that were attached to it from the graveyard to the battlefield attached to target creature. Then attach any number of equipment that were attached to that creature, attached to it to that creature.
Right. Yeah. What? Say it, Will. Are you just not going to play Cass?
So with Cass,
you're biased this deep.
Well, here's the thing with Cass. So when the creature dies, you move all of the equipment over to something else, and then you reanimate all of your auras. So it just moves it just moves the formal wear over. It doesn't loop by itself with that, I believe.
Well, Josh, prove him wrong. Prove him wrong. I don't know. I would need to look at Cass, but I don't have it in front of me.
Cass says whenever a creature you control dies, if it was enchanted or equipped, return any number of aura cards that were attached to it from the graveyard to the battlefield attached to target creature. Then, attach any number of equipment that were attached to that creature, meaning the other target creature that you move the enchantments to. So you just move formal wear over to something else. It doesn't flicker formal wear at all.
Hmm. Well, this has been a bad game so far. We're gonna make it, but sorry.
Well, is it as bad as Cast, Patrick?
I don't think there's anything wrong with Cast. You're the Cast hater here. Don't put me in your. Don't rope me in with you. I've got no real feelings towards Cast.
I do think Cast can still easily be abused, because if you have any cantrip auras, you just go, I sack a creature and draw 20. So I think Cast can do some gross things, but it's probably better as casual when you can actually set up greedier boards. I like Cast though for casual. For casual, Cast is gross.
Casual Cast. It's casual Cast.
But next card on the list. It is Vexing Radgull.
You're gonna need to explain what this is.
So it's a 1 and a blue for a 1/2 flying bird mutant. Whenever this deals combat damage to a player, that player gets 2 radiation counters if they don't have any radiation counters. Otherwise, proliferate. So we have Thrumming Bird and other effects like that are 2 mana 1/1 flyers that when they connect you proliferate. This does the same thing, except it also gives the counters that win you the game over time. So you're just slowly melting people down with radiation and with the Vexing Radgull, but it's also just an on-connect proliferate effect.
Refresh my memory. How do you win the game with radiation again? Like, is it actually tangible, easy to do? Or is it just is it a pipe dream?
It's not too difficult because it's consistent burn, and if you get the radiation counters high enough, you start making people take like 5, 8, 10 damage a turn. Because they mill equal to their radiation counters, take damage for every non-land card milled, then remove a radiation counter. So if you have like 2 proliferate effects, you're just slowly stacking up more and more radiation.
Okay.
I will say though that Vexing Radgull isn't really there to be a whole radiation outlet. It's better as just another Thrumming Bird effect that's better than Thrumming Bird, because better stats and the ability to give counters to a player to win the game.
What's the CMC of this card again?
2 mana, 1 and a blue. And it is a 1/2 flyer.
2 mana, you say?
Yeah. It's not fantastic, but for any decks that care about proliferating, it's one of the new better proliferate cards.
Okay. It's not bad. I have no real feelings on that. Like, does blue really... I don't know, blue has so much other shit to do. It makes me feel bad. Because, like, does blue really care that this is a potential thing you could do?
There are some niche CDH decks that do care about putting counters on things and players, and there's some Super Friends CDH decks that people have tried to get working. So it has some functionality, but it's not insane.
Does Zedru use it? Zedru gives shit to people. I guess it's not less relevant to him, but I'm trying. What are? I'm sorry. You said Super Friends, not. I was thinking a group hug for some reason, which is not what you were saying. Yeah, a very much different thing. If the first hand of the round has only 1 card, add a permanent copy to the deck and draw it to your hand. What? If first hand of round has only 1 card. That doesn't make sense. There's never an instance where you're only going to have 1 card.
What if you draw through your deck and it only has 1 card remaining because of how you've...
It would need to be your first... It has to be your first hand, though.
Oh, it has to be the first hand.
Right.
Okay, then yeah, I don't know.
Is it like one of a singular card? Like, never mind, it didn't make any sense. Sisei maybe for the proliferate shenanigan, maybe
potentially, because Sisei does Super Friends things. There isn't anything I can think of off the top of my head that's a very notable proliferate deck, other than maybe the Praetors. But
well, yeah, let's talk about that. What is the de facto proliferate commander, if there is any?
There's probably some dumb stuff with the Magistrate Scepter or something like that. Maybe Refine. don't really know. I know that there are some, but I can't really think of any off the top of my head.
It's probably better that way, Will.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Let's not encourage them.
Yeah. Next up, we have the Vault Tech Assisted Targeting System, also known as VATS.
Mm.
So VATS is 2 black for an instant with split second, and it says choose any number of target creatures with equal toughness. Destroy the chosen creatures. This is an instant speed board wipe with split second, and you get to keep your stuff and nuke the most important stuff on your opponent's board.
What is your dream scenario?
Naming 3 and hitting like Archon, Ranith Magistrate, and maybe a couple value pieces here and there, or naming 2 and hitting Timna, Collector Oof, and a couple other things. Mm-hmm. It's just really good at wiping out a couple cards here and there at split second, at instant speed, so you can hold it up as interaction, and even if you kill one thing, it's split second removal.
Would it only ever kill one? Wait, doesn't it?
So you choose a toughness and then destroy any number of creatures with that toughness, and it's target creatures. So
it does have to target, but at 4 CMC split second, what is the best target you're hitting with this? Like what is the best? What creature are you really trying to get rid of at 4 CMC?
Well, you're hitting multiple creatures more.
No, for sure. Like,
usually naming 2 or 3 will get a lot of important things off the board, because pretty much everything in CDH either has 2 or 3 toughness or 1, and you can nuke every dork on the board.
Yeah, that's true. That's not so bad. But it has to be that set toughness, right?
Yep.
Okay.
It's not a insane card, but it's a piece of non-interactable interaction. So, screw you, Blue.
Am I crazy? Does this just work? You know, I know that aces work this way, but I've not tried to make ace the low number. I'm a fool, Will. Hitting tokens, maybe? Yeah, hitting tokens.
Yeah.
Tekathal's, but it's not CDH.
One card for hitting tokens in the very near future, and I'm gonna be covering that in probably a second, actually. Next, we have Bottle Cap Blast, and holy crap, Magda is gonna be having fun.
I feel like we say this every set, Will.
Yeah, because Magda does everything. But this is actually really dumb, because this card single-handedly allows Magda to make 4 treasures at instant speed. It is 4 and a red for an instant with Improvise, so you can tap your treasures to pay for this card. And it says, deal 5 damage to target creature. If excess damage was dealt to a permanent this way, create that many tapped treasure tokens. So if you nuke a dork for 5, you get 4 treasures. Granted, 4 tapped treasures, but Magda's never cared about the treasures being tapped.
No. How much does it cost again?
4 red. So 4 and a red.
Will, do you like clubs or diamonds more?
I'll take clubs. Favorite suit is spades, but I'll take clubs.
Okay, so 3 minus 7 is 4. There you go. I was trying to math the math. It's difficult sometimes. I don't upgrade the level of the first discarded poker hand each round. I don't understand what that means, but we're about to find out. You can hit your own dwarves too.
That is true. You could just nuke your own dwarf and then make a lot of treasures.
Can you? Not to upset. Is there a Magda player out there in the world that can tell me, like, what is the success rate of your Magda list? I'm very curious to find out. Is it good? Is it secretly the best thing? Is it like Kinnan?
I mean, Magda is one of those decks that just sits there and then combos off in the most uninteractive way ever. If you don't have a way of removing Magda, the deck usually just wins and no one can say anything.
Pretty dope.
It's a good deck. I stand for Magda, especially because it's actually placed pretty high in tournaments consistently.
Okay.
Next is a card that people freaked out about and then just kind of slowly calmed down on, and I think now people kind of view it accurately, which is a Wild Wasteland.
Mm.
Two in a red for an enchantment. Skip your draw step. At the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top 2 cards of your library. You may play those cards this turn. People were like, holy crap, this card's insane for the longest time, and it's a draw 1 extra card a turn in for 3 mana. But it also helps you trigger Paradox for things like, what's his name? The Tome guy, Prosper. Lets you make extra treasures with Prosper because you're replacing your draw with 2 impulses, which is pretty good, in my opinion. I like it.
You just call him the Tome guy from now on.
What's a Prosper Tome of something something? That's the only reason why I was calling him the Tome guy.
Right. Prosper does get stronger, yes. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen Prosper in a while either. I don't know. I guess I need to look at CDH Rec. Like, I don't. What are people? What do you think is the most popular deck right now? And
the most popular deck is either Blue Farm, Nagila, or what's his name? The Sphinx.
Oh, Tivit.
Yeah, Tivit. Those are the 3 most popular ones right now because the other 2 are high color decks that can grind out a ton of value, and Tivit is just really difficult to interact with outside of counter spells, so he's just good.
Decrease the level of played poker hand. Amazing. Love it.
But speaking of tokens, the next card, I'm going to choose to misname the card because I'm not even going to attempt to try to name this card properly. Oh yeah, Kennon's up there as well. But Rampaging Yogai.
Wait. How's it spelled?
Yaoguai.
Yao. Yeah, that's probably close.
Yogai.
Yeah. I haven't played the recent Fallout, so I'm going to take your word on it. And if that Yo guy came up in other games, forgive me, I'm sorry.
Yeah. But this card is, in some cases, better Bane of Progress. So it's X green, 2/2, Vigilance Trample, Mutant Beast, that enters with X counters on it. When it enters the battlefield, destroy any number of target artifacts and/or enchantments with total mana value of X or less. So,
wait. X target?
Any number of targets that have a total mana value of X or less. Artifacts and enchantments.
That's good.
Destroy all enemy treasures, destroy all enemy clues, destroy all enemy fast mana, and then you pay like 1 or 2 more to hit the soul rings.
That's actually a really good tempo swing.
Yeah.
That's actually
3 mana. It's 3 mana for 2/2 vigilance.
3 mana for a 2/2 vigilance that kills shit. Yogai, this is a good green card.
It's a really good green card.
You're kind of convincing me, Will.
Yeah.
What green legendary should I play?
Sithis.
Hey, I would actually. I kind of like her still. She's got more enchantments. Yeah. Seriously. God. Sorry. Wait, math in the math here. We're gonna get rid of these. Well, I'm gonna get rid of this 2-pair and upgrade it. Check it out. I like that. I mean, I don't. Again, I haven't played a green deck in a while. I'm not really sure I'm itching to play anything new. Have we gotten anything that was really cool recently with a unique strategy? I guess we did fool with Holy Moly. Yeah. Well, I mean, for green, that is for green.
Yeah, Holy Moly is one.
Probably the coolest thing we've seen in recent date.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think there are many commanders that run green that are worth running. Let me check. I'm gonna.
Damn. Thrasios.
At least recently.
Yeah.
Well, at least recently, I should say.
Right. Savala 2, Yeva. Yeah, I'm just looking for newer green legendaries that.
Oh, the Master and Mothman.
Yeah.
And I can talk about the Master after I go through the things, because I said a thing that sparked a bit more debate in the chat, and I want to give a full flushing of both sides of the argument. But
I'm not sharing that. I'm just kidding. Yeah. I'll do a cut Let me know the timestamp. I'll look for the timestamp. But yeah, it's interesting. It's like we did clarify that we weren't certain of the facts, but I don't think that was like, it didn't matter.
People hopped in and they gave more information, and I'm like, criticize me all you want, as long as you're making it productive, then I'm cool with it. Because a lot of people were like, well, this is actually how this works. A couple people were saying I found other rulings that said other things. They didn't give the receipts, but I'm fine if they didn't give the receipts. I just wanted the receipts because I actually wanted to learn about the other rulings.
Right.
So, but yeah, I'll talk about that in a second. But yes, Ragged Drag is another good, interesting green commander, but the Master is probably the most interesting green commander. We also have a Voja, the dog that likes elves. Oh, we got the Pride of Blade.
Yeah, Voja's not bad.
And outside of that, not many other great green commanders. You can do the 14th Doctor if you care about any of the Doctor's companions and want to make a 4 or 5 color Doctor companion, which I'm potentially doing in the future with Adric, 4 color. Adric.
Do you have that yet? By the way,
waiting for the 14th Doctor to show up in the mail, and then I'm probably gonna build that after, because that list is really easy to build. It's just to run a bunch of effects that say untap as a trigger, and then have Adric make infinite mana off of that.
Fallout is sad for CDH.
Really, I kind of agree to that. There isn't a ton of gigantic splashy cards, but I think we did get some nice commanders from it.
Speaking of reprints, combo. Sorry, I just want to show off this Assassin's Trophy again. Bam!
Yeah!
Bam! Wait,
Swag Assassin's Trophy.
Yeah, that has to be my best pull so far. This is probably my best pull to date. I need to talk to Devin from Pub Stomp. I'm sure he's pulled way better than both of us will. last like every single pack he showed me before that he pulled from this sponsored stuff, or this ambassador stuff, was just way better than what we saw, but that's okay. I might just
next card. We got Tato Farmer, which is an interesting thing that could potentially be really good, but isn't too insane. So, 2 and a green for a creature, zombie, mutant, peasant that has landfall. Whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, you may get 2 radiation counters. And you can tap to put target land card that you milled this turn from the graveyard onto the battlefield under your control tapped. This is a kind of nice-ish card. You can do some combo stuff, you can do some untapped stuff to get a lot of lands into play pretty quickly. There might be a combo with this in the future, or just some dumb shenanigans that you can do, but yeah, it's a notable card just purely for the fact that it can do some fun, dumb stuff. It is not that great, though. It's like a mediocre Ravenop Excavator.
What was the cost for it again?
2 and a green.
Ravenop is 3. So, is it that bad, Will?
It's the fact that you can only put milled lands into play hurts, but the fact that it's a 1/4 that can also give you the radiation counters to do that is nice.
How does Oh, sorry.
Yeah. If you're playing a deck that cares about mill, it's a very nice card.
Did I discard 2 4s? I did discard 2 4s. That's okay. Sorry.
But now to an actual good green card outside of the Tato Farmer. I'm not gonna diss our Yo Man or Yo Guy.
Yo Guy was probably one of the better cards you've mentioned so far.
It's really nice, but this one is not too bad because it has a good amount of combo potential and also is just a really good value card, which is Watchful Radstag. So 2 and a green for a 2/2 elk mutant with evolve, and whenever it evolves, you create a token or a token copy of this. This card's pretty good if you have any way of kind of getting in a lot of creatures here and there. I pretty much said Kodama of the East Tree with this because you get a bunch of play 3 mana things into play, and if you have anything with 4 power or 4 toughness, you are triggering a whole lot of Watchful Radstags at once, and you are probably putting your entire hand into play. So, it's a good card. It's not a great card, but it's a good card.
No, no, yeah, it's weird. That mechanic is so hinky. I don't know. Do you like the mutate mechanic?
Or the evolve mechanic.
I'm sorry, the evolve mechanic.
It's okay. It's a mutant. I get where you're coming from.
Yeah,
I think that it's a fine mechanic. I'm not gonna be singing its praises, but I think that it can do some interesting stuff when you tag other effects onto it.
Sing its praises, Will. Do it. No.
Well,
God,
we have a
these suck.
combo card that I really like, and I think this one card is going to make green significantly better. Nuka-Cola Vending Machine.
Hmm.
So for those who don't know, Nuka-Cola Vending Machine is a 3-mana artifact that you can pay 1, tap it, and create a food. And whenever you sack a food, you create a tapped treasure. The reason why this is so good, if you have Took from the Lord of the Rings set, and 3 food in play, you draw your entire deck and make infinite tap treasures. So you just kind of win. It's an actual decent combo in green.
What is the card again? I'm sorry. I was
Nuka-Cola Vending Machine.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, this sounds familiar. I'm like, yeah. I'm like,
it's the Coca-Cola combo. I have talked about this so much. We've done a short about this. This is such a good card and such a good combo because it is not difficult at all for green to find Took or find Inventor's Fair to find Nuka-Cola Vending Machine. And then if you add in any other colors, it becomes even easier to set up the combo because black just gives you good tutors, blue gives you good artifact tutors, white gives you Oswald, which can find Nuka-Cola Vending Machine, and then red has Goblin Engineer, which also finds Nuka-Cola Vending Machine. So good.
Yeah. Are you making a deck around this card?
Haven't yet, but I probably will in the future. I just need to get a copy, but my one issue is that like the cheapest version of this card right now is $10. And it's an uncommon.
What?
Yeah.
Because
people like it. It's a good combo card and it's a good token generation card because whenever you crack a food you get a treasure. So it's just really nice. Even if you're doing Academy Manufacturer, it's pretty gross.
Are people still doing Academy Manufacture?
Yeah, more so in casual than competitive, but yeah. Magda ran it for a bit, but then Magda got better options.
Yeah, I was like trying to think of what CDH actually used that card, but it was really just Magda from my recollection.
Yeah.
You're seeing an actually decent run here, by the way. My Joker hand is okay. I need like an actual times multiplier for the red box there. But if I get one, I think we just outright win the shit out of this particular deck. Anyway.
Well, my next card is another Nuka-Cola card, and it's Nuka-Cola Launcher. So it's a 2-mana artifact equipment that has an equip cost of 3, and it says, the equipped creature has +3/+0 and Intimidate. Whenever the equipped creature attacks until end of turn, until the end of defending player's next turn, that player gets 2 radiation counters whenever they cast a spell. So this is like a pseudo rule of law effect for colorless, so any deck can have some level of rule of law, because dang can this build up radiation pretty quickly and it can burn people down, because yes, it mills, which could be potentially an upside for your opponents, but the fact that they're also getting burned really hard for it is pretty brutal, and if they overstep into this, they're going to be milling 10, 12 cards per turn and taking like 10 damage each turn. They're going to be dead very quickly.
It's not bad. I feel like I looked over that card a few times. What decks want the launcher?
I think any slow deck that doesn't run white can run it, or any deck that cares about equipment.
Okay.
Because if you can run Rule of Law, there's no reason to run Nuka-Cola Launcher. I think it's a cool tech card. It's not a staple in any means.
Yeah, which is sad. Like any deck that's not running white that would care about it, but I feel like most the Boros leaders would maybe be the ones to consider it.
Yeah. If you want an equipment that's good in Boros and a lot of other decks, you have Pip-Boy 3000, and a lot of people really like this card, and I also like it a good deal.
Yeah, Arden Rograk, sorry, it's just on the Boros line of thought. I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Pip-Boy 3000 is a 1-mana artifact equipment with an equip cost of 2. Whenever the equipped creature attacks, choose 1. Draw a card, discard a card, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature, or untap 2 target lands.
This card's great.
Yeah, a mini Sword of Feast and Famine. I like it. Good card.
It's so good. Yeah, I feel like this is definitely worth getting a copy of. Someone was asking me about this. Every one of those effects is valid, though.
Yeah, I think the +1 counter is the weakest effect, but then the other two are so good that you don't even feel bad about having that third effect in there. Because looting is really good because you can fix your hand or fill up your graveyard, and then untap 2 lands can be really good because CDH players play lands that tap for more than 1, and even if they didn't, it's still up 2 mana.
I agree. I like it. Ooh, I do like it. I hope we open some.
Well, speaking of equipment that you like and I like and we like, Silver Shroud costume.
Oh,
so
you might like it more than me. I hate that it's only yeah, you can say
I'll read it and then we can discuss it. But 2 mana, 3 for the equip cost for a flash equipment that says ETB attached to target creature you control and it gains Shroud until end of turn. The equipped creature cannot be blocked. So, thoughts, Patrick?
I think the can't be blocked aspect's really cool for Kiri. But the Shroud... Actually, this might be a Kiri card, now that I think of it. It's fine. It's how much CMC? 3?
2 CMC.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
2 to play, 3 to equip.
2 to play, 3 to equip, but it auto-attaches, right?
Yep.
So, it's not bad. I think if you have a commander that cares about being unblockable, then it's really good.
Yeah, if you have any commander that wants to attack, or any commander that cares about having equipments in play, because even just playing this to give, like, temporary Shroud to one thing you care about is just heroic intervention.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice. And we got
no, you're right. I like that it's a combat trick. You're not wrong about that. I guess I'm kind of devaluing that fact, but yeah, no, you're right about it. I like it. I'm liking it more. I don't know what lists you were saying. What was the idea? Were you suggesting this in Oswald a little while ago? No, you were suggesting the pre-war attire.
Yeah, I was saying that this and pre-war are both good in Oswald, because pre-war lets you reanimate Metal Worker or some other artifact creature that you care about, or a stacks piece you care about. And this is just 2 mana, protect Oswald at instant speed, and then you can sack this later because you don't care about the unblockable.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
Yeah,
genuinely. Yeah,
pretty nice, and it's a good sack fodder. But now we get into the lands, and there's actually a few lands, but I'm only going to cover them in 2 categories. So one is Helios 1, and this is a land that taps for a generic. You can pay 1 and tap it to get an energy, and you can pay 3, tap it, and pay 3 and pay X energy. Then sacrifice Helios 1, destroy target non-land permanent with mana value X. Activate only as a sorcery. It's another land with some level of removal to it. If you have any energy synergy, you build this up a lot faster. But even if you just want to tap it, destroy a 0-drop, you're fine with it. If you want to buff it up a tiny bit and then tap it, destroy a 1 or 2-drop, you're fine with it. If you're in a monocolor deck, I think you probably play this to the same degree that you play Blast Zone.
What does it allow you to destroy again? How does that read?
So any non-land permanent that cost X, and X is the energy you paid into it.
Do you run this and Blast Zone in the same deck?
I think you run both, just for the redundancy of getting rid of stacks pieces that screw over your deck. Like in black.
Is this the mono black deck? Yeah.
Yeah, if like someone plays Null Rod into your black deck and you can't remove the artifact, instead of crying, you can try to find Helios or Blast Zone and nuke that. If someone plays, I don't know, like a good example for, I guess in your red decks you also probably play this. In your green decks you're probably fine, in your blue decks you're probably fine, and in your white decks you're probably fine. But if you're playing mono black or mono red, it's another land to include.
Could see playing Lurrus.
Yeah. But the next lands I want to talk about, and I'm lumping all of these together, so I'll kind of go over I'll go over what they are, then I'll go over all of their names. But it's the new filter lands. So we got 5 new lands that filter for colors that we already had filters for. So we just have redundancy for land filtering. So we have Desolate Mire, Ferris Lake, the Overflowing Basin, the Sun-Scorched Divide, and the Viridescent Bog. I think that's how you pronounce that.
That sounds right enough.
All these are pay 1 tap, make 2 mana of 2 different colors. So, like Mire does white, black. Then we have a blue, red, a Simic, a Boros, and a Golgari. So, in any of those decks, if you need a little bit more color fixing and you wanted to cut a basic, there you go.
They're just filters. I'm sorry. Do they also tap for generic?
They are just filters. They are an exact copy of like the original style filter lands. It's just that they have different names, so you can run 2 filter lands now in these 5 colors.
You like them? Do you
nice.
use filter lands regularly?
Yeah, I do, because if you're running Soul Ring or something like that, they do help you filter your colors, but I'll only really use them in 2-color decks.
Did we crush it? No. We were so close. We have an extra large blind to deal with here, Will.
Oh no.
Yeah, this ain't your dad's poker. It's fine. We'll be okay, folks. Don't worry. I'm just stressing. Wait, we're gonna do this. I don't know. Like, I don't really run filter lands in any decks, or at least there's none. It's not to say they're bad, obviously, but I can't think of too many lists where I care to slot the filter land, unless it's like dual color, maybe, at most.
Yeah, 2 colors specifically is what I say, because then you have an excuse to run the generic costs. Like, your Ancient Tomb is a little bit better, your Soul Ring is a little bit better, any of your mana effects are a little bit better.
Okay. Yeah.
But, now to go to one thing I was talking about before with the whole mill interaction.
Oh, I just had a shit hand, Will. Sorry.
Oh no.
It's okay, I might lose here. We'll see. Doing a pretty bad job of this round. This full house should hopefully clinch it. We'll see. Alright.
But, for a little bit of preamble first, for those of you who haven't watched our previous streams, there is a lot of debate and confusion on the current mill ruling, and it all comes from a couple different things. So, first, Wizards of the Coast made mill a term that they used on cards. They did not make it a keyword. They made it a compressed term, which pretty much just means that they make it so that instead of saying do blank, they say mill. So instead of putting the top 5 cards of your deck into the graveyard, they say you mill 5.
Okay.
So they used it as a simplification term. They specifically said it was not a keyword. Everything would function the way that it is supposed to function. And they added milled as a term, and milled was initially supposed to be a card that was put from the library into the graveyard. And it seemed like they were counting Entomb when they were saying that, other effects like that. And then they made Bruvek, which is when a player mills a card, they mill twice that many cards.
Okay.
So Bruvek kind of changed that because he made mill function like a keyword. And then they had to change mill from saying put cards from the top of your deck into the graveyard to only put cards from the top of your deck into your graveyard. So for instance, Surveil, although you have the ability to put cards from the top of your deck into the graveyard, you have an option not to. Therefore, it isn't mill, because you have the option of putting cards back onto the top. So Surveil isn't mill, so Bruvek wouldn't care about Surveil. So they started treating mill like a keyword, and then they changed some rules to make Bruvek a little bit more clear, which basically made mill a keyword. But mill is still not a keyword. They're not trying to treat mill like a keyword, but every card effect has slowly more and more been treating mill like a keyword. So basically, the awkward position we're in now is that mill is not a keyword, but it's treated like a keyword. Half of the rulings have been updated to treat mill like a keyword, was the other half have been kept the same, and we haven't gotten a ruling on any of this. We don't have a hard ruling saying this is how mill works now, and people just need an update to try to get all of this squared away. So, with that whole preamble being said, I want to cover both sides of the argument that we've been having recently in chat, where I'll use Hermit Druid as the example from here on out. Are Hermit Druid effects considered milled cards? So, starting from here, I'll give like some kind of hand sign for Patrick to edit. I guess like, nah.
An hour,
there you go.
Hour 30 minutes. Hour 30 minutes in.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So, on the first side, if mill isn't being treated like a keyword, then that means that Hermit Druid would have the cards be treated as milled cards, due to the fact that milled isn't referring to cards that were put into the graveyard by mill effect. Milled refers to cards that were put from the library into the graveyard. The issue is that we came into effects that kind of tried to convolute that, but the initial ruling is yes, the cards put from the deck into the graveyard by Hermit Druid's effect is considered milled, even though Hermit Druid's effect isn't mill, because mill isn't a keyword, it's just a compression of text, so mill is just checking to see if the cards were put from the top of the library into the graveyard. But there's another side to the argument. So, on the other side of the argument, mill has been treated like a keyword, and they've been having more and more effects, and this is when I brought up Rule 701.13c, which is the only rule that we've ever had that talked about milled, and it hasn't changed since the initial ruling. However, basically what the effect says is it treats mill like it was a keyword by saying that it will keep track of the cards that were milled even if they don't go into the graveyard, meaning that mill is being treated like a very specific game action that's keyworded, even though that the cards aren't going to the graveyard, which is what mill was supposed to do. So therefore, mill is a keyword because it's a specific game action that doesn't just say cards that were put from the top of the library into the graveyard. So if mill is a keyword, then that means that milled is referring to cards that were put into a graveyard by mill effect. So those are the two sides to this debate, and we can probably clip those into two separate sections for shorts. And we could
try
self-reference them, try to have something to let people know there's two sides to this argument that I've brought up. In my personal opinion, I'm willing to believe that Hermit Druid is not treated as a milled effect due to the fact that they have been treating mill like a keyword more recently.
Right.
However, according to the original rulings that have yet to be changed, Hermit Druid, the cards put into the graveyard by Hermit Druid are treated as milled cards. But we've had a bunch of rule updates that may have changed that. We haven't gotten clarification on that. So, take everything with a grain of salt. Yes, it could work one way, but it could also work the other way.
If that can be clipped under 60 seconds, Will, I'll do it for you.
I was hoping that we could do two shorts on that, me covering one side and me covering the other side. And then if you want, you can have my closing arguments as a third section or something, but we don't need the closing arguments. I was just kind of covering both sides of the whole debate.
Well, it's an interesting dilemma. I'm surprised that mill isn't a keyword yet.
Yeah, it's
That's all I have to say about that.
It's just a compressed term right now. Term specifically used to simplify down certain text boxes so that you can fit more into it. It's weird.
Well, I mean, I like that kind of clarity, though. So, like, I'm hosting the sorcery event that's coming up, but man, do they just use their terminology for the game is so lax, and there's a lot of assumption placed on the player that they will just understand what they're saying on the cards. And there's no real index or glossary for some of the words they use when describing how a card functions. But there's also, like, I don't know, they went out of their way, I feel, to bring back cards with ideologies that link back to Magic's earliest sets. Like there's a dexterity card like Chaos Orb with a card called something Twister. Fucking annoys me. It's like shit like that. And there's also a card called Crusade and Jihad, and like, oh yeah, things like that were just recently banned in Magic. I don't know, but and that's just like, and that isn't even dealing with the text on the actual cards. And like, I know I've ranted about freaking a Chess Knight's move away. It's like, why would you say that? Why don't you explain it in a way that makes sense for your game and not reference another game?
Yeah.
But Magic is sort of like the standard setter. I feel like they should just clear this up. I don't know.
The issue was that they wanted to take it in one direction.
Should be a keyword.
Then they printed some other cards that were supposed to be fun additions to expand on that direction that they were taking it, but didn't think through the ruling exactly. We have the freaking, what's his name? There's the one wizard that's like Gadwald or whatever. He's the X blue 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 from the initial fairy tale set. Let me find this guy.
Dude, my straights aren't that hot, but I'll play it.
Are your gays hotter?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I was actually pretty close to the name. Gadwick Wizened. So
sorry.
Here's the interesting
Such a cute name. Yeah. I love how I was definitely corrected on that term, by the way. Wizened. Anyways.
He is wizened.
I've been getting a lot of TikToks about like this company that keeps getting requests to make variations of like Jesus as a rock star, and but with a lot of riz. So the catchphrase on the T-shirt is "Christ has risen," and it's spelled. And
that's so fantastic! I love that.
Will, you actually would really like this. It's funny because the last one I got was the last two I got was Jesus Christ as a rock star. But then it's like the typical white version of Jesus you see in homes. And they're like, how about one that's Middle Eastern? And then they did another one of him being Middle Eastern. So browner. And then it's funny because the shirt just says in like big text at the bottom, risen. It's so funny, dude. I'll have to find I've gotten the TikTok so many times. I'm not going to buy one of the shirts, but I'm tempted. My mom would love it.
But Gadwick is an example of a card that they didn't think through and they had to change a bunch of rulings for. So Gadwick is X blue blue blue, and he says ETB, draw X cards, and then whenever you cast a blue spell, tap target non-land permanent and opponent controls. If you remember how X is supposed to work, Patrick, do you see any issue with Gadwick and that ETB effect?
Wait, I might lose here. Wait, no, I'm not going to lose here. How does Gadwick read again?
X, blue, blue, blue. And then he says, ETB, draw X cards.
Oh, yeah, this was a whole issue when he came out. X,
yeah.
ETB, draw X, X, X.
Do you remember why it was an issue?
No. I mean, it logics when you just say it.
Yeah, the issue is the only time when a card's cost is treated as anything other than 0 for X is on the stack. So the stack is the only time when X is treated as something other than 0. So when Gadwick enters the battlefield,
that's right.
X is always 0 and he never draws any cards. So they had to rework how it works so cards have some level of memory to what's been going on with them. And they've been making a bunch of rulings off of similar effects like that, where cards have some level of short-term memory so that they can remember some stuff that goes on.
Why is there a better way to phrase the wizened so it's not bad?
He should have just been when he's cast, draw X cards. And I know
because they've made plenty, but they've made plenty of characters that have that form of interaction where there's an effect that. There's like a black legendary that has X in her cost and she's like an outlet, but the way she reads is better. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Like X counters is the other way that they've gotten around it.
That's honestly awkward.
They could have done that with Gadwick too. They could have made him a 0/0 that enters with X +1/+1 counters, then draws equal to his power on ETB.
Did they effectively change the rules with Gadwick's printing, or did players notice this, say, hey, I'm drawing 0 cards here, and then they fixed it? Because I would like to, I'm sure the team at Wizards is
Gadwick got
wise enough to
spoiled.
figure that out.
Gadwick got spoiled. Then Wizards went, "Oh crap!" And then they changed the ruling for Gadwick. And then they've kind of been working off of the Gadwick style ruling for a lot of other rules changes, which is what's going on with like the whole mill and milled thing. So a lot of rulings have been crazy and weird after Gadwick got printed because they've been giving cards short-term memory.
You know, fortunately, not that many people play Gadwick, so it's usually not that big of an issue.
Yeah, thankfully, like, these issues only come up, like, once on a blue moon. It's not a major thing.
Negative
All I gotta
one
say is,
size.
screw Gadwick. Gang,
Why?
gang.
What's wrong with Gadwick, bruh?
He made the rules so much more confusing.
Enhances 2 select cards to bonus cards, Will? Which ones should I enhance to be bonus cards? Because we've got a full house here. I guess the 9s.
Yeah, I'd go for the 9s.
Gives the total sell value of jokers. No, it's less relevant.
Because you also have 987 of diamonds if you wanted to try to go for what is that? A straight flush?
Oh,
it's better to go for the it's better to go for what you're already planning though, because you have it guaranteed.
Right. We do have -1 hand, so I'm only going to get 3 hands out of here. And my full house is level 1. This is such a weird thing to say. My full house is honestly the weakest hand I could play, but it's still not bad. You might be right. Fuck it. I'll go with it, though. But just because we have a lot of odd cards coming out of here, and they get plus 30 chips for every odd card I play, so this whole hand. And I've got a lot of multipliers just in my Joker deck, but we'll see. I think I could beat this blind. Anyways, see, this is the allure of Balatro.
Indeed.
Are you digging it at all, Will? Are you?
It's interesting. I think my brother would like playing this significantly more than I do because he's a poker guy.
It's so fun. I'm like, and I'm not a poker guy. I don't know why I enjoy this so thoroughly, but I do. Oh, that was bad. That was a bad hand. God, Will, why'd you make me do that? Anyways.
It's a safe hand. It wasn't great, but it was safe.
Oh, never safe again. Let's never do safe again. I think a 2-pair is honestly better for me. I'll just play the 2-pair, see what happens, and then like look for a much better hand. This like hiking Joker is kind of funny. He just permanently upgrades cards I play. It's quite good.
So, Joshua, part of the issue is that it would always treat X as 0 when it enters the battlefield. The reason why stuff like Marath works with that effect is because Marath has enter with the counters. It doesn't have a triggered ability happen as it enters, or it doesn't have a triggered ability happen when it enters. So Marath doesn't hit the board then say, wait, what was that number? Marath just says, okay, that was the number I'm going to enter with that. So it has gained the counters from the stack going to the field. The issue with Gadwick is that you're trying to have a creature enter the battlefield that, as it's a new instance of itself on the battlefield, it's trying to remember what the old instance of itself had for X, which is where you get the problem.
I might have fucked Will. I don't know why I went for a full house here. I don't know what I was thinking, but I got the full house. Wait, I don't want to lose here. I'm not going to lose on stream. Never. I swore. I promised myself never to lose again. I considered it a challenge for the whole human race. Yes. Fuck it. Let's just win with the shittiest hand possible for me. Try to. So Chalice and Abrupt Decay? Yeah, I thought that's what Patrick was talking about. Did I lose? I totally lost. Sorry, that was my bad. It should have said something like much of yeah. No, it was from Kamigawa. I forget how she reads. I think she does damage, but I think she does the damage on the stack now that I think about her.
Yeah, it's Chalice of the Void enters with the X counter. So Chalice of the Void is an example of one of those things that works.
Is an example of a card that works.
So yeah, engineer explosives with Chalice of the Void. Chalice of the Void checks to see what the CMC of the card on the stack is, from what I remember. So it will have engineered explosives be, let's say, 3 mana, so Chalice of the Void won't counter it with 0 counters. But then when engineered explosives enters the battlefield, its CMC is now 0. So that's how it's always worked. The cards will do whatever they have for X, then they enter, and then they're a new instance of themselves. But the only way that they'd enter with something based off of X is if it was enters with blank. So the best way of doing Gadwick is either make it a cast trigger or give him counters to keep track of the amount of mana that was paid into him, and then draw equal to the counters. Like, you could have done wisdom counters or something like that. It didn't have to be +1/+1 counters.
Whiz counters?
Yeah, whiz. He's a whiz kid.
God, dude, I suck at this game, clearly. Don't look at me. Will, what should I go for here? I have a straight, baby. I have 7, 8, 9, but I'm missing a jack. But I've got 2 aces.
Or 6, jack or 6.
I know. Oh, hey! Do you play 3 of a kind, or do you play the straight? You play the straight.
Yeah.
But only barely, by the way. Okay, yeah. Thanks.
But
go on, sorry.
But yeah, rulings are weird. It's just that mill is the weirdest ruling that we've had in a while.
What other complicated things are there in Magic? It's really whole game. I feel like the whole game for new players is relatively complicated, but it's been a while since I was a new player, so I still get shit wrong though, especially when it comes to like static effects.
Yeah. But for Joshua, so copying X cost spells, copying X cost spells works because it remembers what X is on the stack. So if you copy it on the stack, it says, "Oh, I'm a 3 CMC or I'm a 10 CMC Gadwick, so X equals 7." And the copy of Gadwick is going to say, "I'm a 10 CMC Gadwick, so X equals 7." But then if you have a Gadwick enter the battlefield, you copy that Gadwick, you're not going to be drawing 7 cards because the token copy's not going to remember. So that's another whole weird thing. So if you make a token copy of something that enters with X counters, like Walking Ballista, if you make a token copy of Walking Ballista on the board, it's going to be 0/0 and die. But if you make a token copy of Walking Ballista on the stack, then it's going to be an XX and live.
Copies expose. Alright, so Will, what set are you most excited about this year? And has it already come out? I know we've gotten some spoils for Modern Horizons 3. I haven't really looked too deeply into it though.
So it's strange for me. I think Modern Horizons 3 is what I'm going to be most excited for because they always have some like really dumb overpowered cards in those sets. If I was gonna rank all of the 4 sets that we've gotten spoilers for, being Thunder Junction, Bloomburrow, Assassin's Creed, and Modern Horizons 3, I'd say it's Modern Horizons 3, then like a 50-50 between Thunder Junction and Bloomburrow. I'll say Thunder Junction, then Bloomburrow, and then finally is Assassin's Creed. I'm not very hyped about Assassin's Creed. Not that I don't like the game itself, but the cards just haven't seemed interesting in the slightest to me.
Do you like the game?
It's cool. Like, my brother played it. I enjoyed watching him play it. I played it for a bit while he was in between other games, so I liked it.
Is that what people are calling it? Modern Horizons Commander Masters? That's probably accurate. I don't know. I haven't looked into the newest set. I feel like Commander's their most popular format, so they got to lean into it. So, I mean, if we're seeing stuff that looks Commander specific, that's probably why. Why? What is aired from Modern Horizons that?
Oh, we got a lot of things from Modern Horizons that people really liked. To give the quick rundown.
Oh god, that was not the button I meant to hit. Oh, Jesus, sorry.
So first off, we got the new Emrakul, which is just a really massive beater card that's really impossible to deal with. People think this is going to see almost no modern play, but we'll see a ton of commander play because this card is gross. We got the new Ajani that...
Wait, what's that do? What's the new... I saw that. Yeah.
Oh, so 12 mana, 12/12. that says when you cast it, gain control of all creatures target player controls. And it has Madness for 6 generic.
So,
sorry, not 6 generic, 6 colorless. You specifically have to use colorless.
Anya?
Yeah, so you play it in Anya, but then on top of that, it has flying, protection from all spells and permanents that were cast this turn, and then when it leaves the battlefield, you sacrifice all of your creatures. But the thing is, it's immune to instants and sorceries, and it's a flying 12/12 that steals everybody's or steals one person's entire board, including their commander.
So how do you kill it? Is the idea?
Yeah, it's nearly impossible to kill in CDH at least, and even in casual, it's such a nuisance to kill.
Patrick needs another drink. I did just run out. I mean, are you saying that because of how poorly I'm Balatroing? Shut your mouth. Or what do you mean? I could use another drink. This is the end of my week, fortunately. I have all of tomorrow off, so I'm going to visit family in New Jersey this weekend. But I'm taking a break early because literally, Will, I have a One Piece event at noon, then at 3, then at 6. It's you know why I did this to myself, and I say it that way because it will be a marathon. It's impossible to find boxes of the new set for sale, let alone to find any product at MSRP. So for me, it's like, well, I spend $30 and they give me 6 packs. Great. This is how I'm going to be collecting set 6 for One Piece because it's just freaking impossible to find. It's rather frustrating. I mean, I would rather not just go around town to do this. Luckily, 2 of those games are at the same store. So wish me luck. Dude, all the best shit I've ever pulled in One Piece, I've pulled at events. Like, I've never had this luck with any other game, but one of the events I pulled a card that was worth $150. I sold it to a friend for a little less. And then I also pulled like a AA leader for that game, which is kind of big, but it was the shittiest AA leader you could have possibly pulled from the set. That's where my bad luck turns up. I've not pulled an expensive AA leader. I think the most expensive AA leader I pulled was during a live stream here, which was Smoker, but even he wasn't great. Sorry, I just realized, does this count towards a 2 pair? It does count towards a 2 pair! Sorry. I love discovering this shit. So I just use the Jolly Joker. It says if the played hand contains a pair. I played a full house, but I'm like, there's a pair in there. Cool. At any rate.
Nice.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's awesome.
But also running through the other like 3 things that we got from the Modern Horizon set. Pretty much everything we've gotten from the Modern Horizon set people like for Commander. So we got the new Ajani, which is a 2-mana white creature that ETB makes a cat token, and whenever one or more cat tokens you control, or whenever one or more cats you control die, exile this, return to the battlefield face up as the Planeswalker side. And the Planeswalker is a Boros commander that can either +1/+1 counter up all of your cats for +2, +0 make a cat token, and if you control red permanent other than this, you deal damage equal to the creatures you control to any target. Or -4, you make your opponent sack down every permanent they control except for 1 permanent of each type, and they keep all their lands. So they go down all their artifacts except 1, all their enchantments except 1, all their creatures except 1, all their planeswalkers except 1. So it's just a really good damage commander, because if you build a wide board, you're just dealing 10 damage every turn.
Are people actually trying to build him?
A little bit, yeah, because he's a 2-mana Boros commander that actually controls the board really well and builds you a board. So he's a Boros commander that does stacks well and has a win con outside of Winota.
I was going to say, like, that's curious. I haven't... We usually don't really care about Boros outside of Winota. And not even really with Winota these days. Shit, dude.
It's a 2-mana commander, so you know Patrick's going to be building that Ajani.
I don't know if I'm that interested. I might take a gander. I saw the card, and of course, like any Planeswalker hybrid commander is going to be... Oh, fuck me. Wait, what the hell happened? Is going to be remotely interesting. What did I just play? I thought I just played it straight. Dude. All right. Johnny seems silly. Yeah. We could just talk about anything that was spoiled from some other recent sets, by the way, if you want. I know.
You played King 10-9-8-7.
Oh, dude, I'm an idiot. Oh, I was thinking it was a jack.
But
Damn.
the next card is a Psychic Frog. So it's a blue and a black for a 1/2 frog that you can have it deal combat damage to a player or a planeswalker to draw a card. Discard a card to give it a +1/+1 counter, or exile 3 cards from your graveyard to give it flying. This card just does a tiny bit of everything, and it's a really nice utility card. This card is probably the most modern playable thing that we've gotten so far from everything else.
Modern playable from Modern Horizons. That's cool.
I know. And the next card is probably also modern playable, but it's also CDH playable, casual playable. It's playable everywhere. This card is just a really insane card, and it's a green card. It is Flare of Cultivation. 2 green for a sorcery. You may sacrifice a non-token green creature you control that rather than pay this card's cost. And then it's Cultivate. Search for 2 basics, put 1 to hand, 1 to the battlefield tapped.
What is the cost of it?
So it's 1 green. Or sacrifice a non-token green creature you control, like a dork.
Wait. It's free to cast?
Yep.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Seems pretty good. Dude, okay.
And next we have It That Heralds the End. It's 1 in a generic for a 2/2 that says your 7 cost or greater spells cost 1 less to cast. Your colorless or your other colorless creatures have +1/+1. Hey, friggin' Urzatron getting another piece, except it's not going in Urzatron, it's going in Eldrazi tribal commander decks.
Well, I mean, this doesn't upset me as a player who only really plays one format outside of playing Cube, but I could see where someone might be upset that their Modern Horizons is predominantly Commander Horizons.
Yeah. And just for reference for you, Patrick, the new Tiny Bones, I can go over that even though it's not Modern Horizons.
Wait, let me guess, Thunder Junction?
Yeah. He's a cowboy skeleton.
I just remember the hat.
Yeah. So this Tiny Bones is 1 black for a 1/1 Death Touch. When it deals combat damage to a player, you may cast a non-land card from that player's graveyard and use mana as though it was mana of any color. So, it's 1 black for a Lurrus that works on your opponent's grave as long as you connect with them. And you don't have to cast low-cost stuff. You cast anything you want.
Use mana of any color to do it.
Yeah. So
I'm sorry. Is it random or they choose?
You choose.
Oh, okay. That's kind of cool, I guess.
So the reason why people think that this card is really gross, and the reason why I agree, is because if you're playing against the Stacks deck and somebody else is threatening any kind of win, you can just say, "Hey, Stacks player, can I hit you and cast your Archon of Emeria or your Draneth or something and just screw over that one guy? Can I cast your Collector Oof and lock everybody else out?"
You think people are excited at the prospect of getting to politic with other players? What kind of world are we living in, Will?
See, this is the good type of politicking, though, because it's the same type of politicking as, what's his name? The frickin' Banana Man.
Kenbo? What are you talking about? Kenbo? You're talking about Tasigur.
Yeah, Tasigur.
Yeah.
So it's the same type of politicking as Tasigur, except instead of using your graveyard, you're using your opponent's graveyard. They just choose to let you use the good stuff. Also, if anybody plays a low creature count deck, Tiny Bones just goes off because you just go, "I hit you. I'm going to use your tutor. I'm going to hit you again. I'm going to use your tutor again. I'm going to hit you again. I'm going to use your tutor again. I'm going to hit you again. I'm going to use your tutor again." And you keep going every single turn.
Wait, how? What are you talking about?
The card does not go into exile after it's cast. It goes back into the graveyard so you can use it again next turn.
Kind of need to look this up now. Is that really how that reads?
Yeah. It's really dumb because if somebody has an extra turn card or an extra turn spell in graveyard and you have Tiny Bones in play, you just end the game.
What? Whenever Tiny Bones pickpockets the player, you may cast an all-in. Oh.
Yeah.
But he's 1 CMC, Will.
Yeah.
He's not 2 CMC. It wouldn't make sense. Your Ugin costs one less to cast.
He's going in the 99.
You don't want to play...
Or you're finding him off your Ranger Captain of Eos.
You don't want to play this as your commander?
Nah. Granted, you could, but nah.
I mean, this isn't really a great turn 1 play, is it? I mean, well, that's not true. You might find like a Jeweled Lotus from someone. If it had dash, like a certain Ragavan or I don't know. Ragavan's better. If you have that in your hand in Ragavan, you play Ragavan, right? But no, it's not bad.
Yeah, I'd say it could be your commander, because if somebody goes for any kind of fast-ish start but doesn't have creatures in play, you start using their fast start over and over and over and over and over again until they play creature.
It's true. Or I think they kill your sad little tiny bones.
Yeah. But how could you kill him? He's the tiniest of bones. He's impossible to hit.
Oh, he is a rogue, isn't he? He's interesting in Anawan. Is he also an assassin?
He is not. Just rogue.
Sorry, Ezio. I'm thinking like an Ezio player these days. I like that it doesn't exile. Yeah, Christopher. Yeah. I don't know why I just assumed that in my head. I'm like, oh, well, this thing has its limitations, but apparently not.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
Apparently it just doesn't. Also makes discard spells better. Oh, shit, yeah. Actually, yeah, that's totally true. Well, I would make this a commander. I don't know. It's hard to consistently play those 2 CMC ones turn 1, Will. But if all I gotta do is play 1 swamp, I don't.
Is you do like 1 swamp, then you do like Inquisition of Kozilek, and you're like, hey, nice demonic tutor you have there. Yoink, 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 yoink.
Seriously. So Will, I get a bonus if I play non-face cards. So should I just ditch the king, the jack, and the jack?
You are pretty close to a straight as well. Like you're
I need a 3.
5,
yeah, do 7, 8, 9, right? Well, I actually have an ace as well, so the 3. Any 3, please. A 4. All right, well, I'm trying to play a game where I just play pairs. That's sort of what my hand is it's just added up to. Because I've got both the Jolly Joker and the Sly Joker. And I want 2 pair because I've got the Square Joker. You understand, right? Of course. Screw it. Don't ask me why I did it like that. God. Fine, I'll play 1 pair, see how much I actually get. And then I also have this little Ride the Bus card. This should be a winning hand, thank you. Okay. Anyways. 2 pairs all it takes, folks. Also, makes discards, yeah. Not that they're great. Nah, I mean, like, mass discard is what Tiny Bones was doing anyways, so it's not like that different from the OG Tiny Bones, but...
You just play Tiny Bones and Tiny Bones, and that's what you do now. You play the new Tiny Bones and old Tiny Bones. Also, dumb card from Thunder Junction. It's another Magda card, the exact same as Bottle Cap Blast. It's Hell to Pay. X in red for a sorcery, deal X damage to target creature, and then create a number of tap treasure tokens equal to the excess damage done this way. It's Bottle Cap Blast, except you pay any number you want into X.
Seems pretty good.
Yeah.
Does this make you want to convert to being a Magda boy?
I mean, I've already been on the defense of building Magda. The only reason I don't want to build Magda is I already have Zada, so I already have my mono red deck.
I feel like Zada's better.
I love Zada. He's such a goofy boy, or she's such a goofy lady. I don't know.
I don't know with Zada. Does anyone know? Does anyone actually know?
I think canonically Zada is a lady.
Really?
I believe so.
I remember I learned Teshar was a lady. Like, I got that copy of my Cliff Secord, the Rocketeer Teshar, and someone's like, why do you gotta make it a man? I'm like, I don't know. It's a bird. I didn't know. I'm sorry. I just like Cliff Secord. let me enjoy my magic. I didn't know that though, but it's hard to tell because a lot of the characters in this game, and we're getting them at rapid fire, don't really get that much lore or background, at least in the immediate materials. Like, do you follow any of
Zada is a lady. I just googled it and it's on the wiki. So Zada is a lady.
But how sure are you? Well, what material suggested that? Do you read any of the supplementary stuff? Like, do you go out and buy the Magic the Gathering books?
I'll look at the overview of any of the stories, but I won't go into the detail of it. I know that she's been determined to be a lady from the story of that set, but I just never remember because I'm like, I don't know. That could have been like literally anybody else. I could be thinking of Wart the Raid Mother, and I'm like, oh yeah, the reason why I think Zada's a girl is because I confused her with Wart the Raid Mother, and Wart's a Raid Mother, so the obviously lady.
No confusion there. I do love Wart, by the way. I guess I take the stone card. No, I take the 2. Take the 2. Will. This game is so good. I would probably need to stop soon, but I'll play a little bit more. Sorry, where are we? Hopefully you guys are enjoying Balatro and it's not just me, because I am. I'm enjoying this game. But we can play whatever next week. It doesn't always have to be Balatro. Is there a game that you're interested in playing that... I mean, there's so many freaking games that came out recently, Will. I don't know, like, what you're actually working on if you have a backlog like me. But
I have a massive backlog. Like, I could play games on stream for, like, a year and still not make it through half of them. Like,
yeah.
I got a massive backlog.
Yeah, right now... Did you ever get around to buying Helldivers 2? I know that you have some friends that are playing. My brother sort of coerced me into playing. He didn't pull my arm or anything, but he definitely suggested it was super good. We haven't really had that many opportunities to play together, but I found it's kind of difficult to get a consistent party to finish. So like you'll set up a mission and you'll go to like a territory within a planet, excuse me. And then there'll be like 2 to 3 things you have to do. And like I'll get a group that will stay for like one of the 2 or 3 missions and then they just leave. And for some reason, like I know the game is having server issues, but it's really difficult to get people to jump back in your party to complete the rest of them. And I've tried soloing them, and it's difficult. It's actually quite a difficult game. So as fun as it is, like with friends, like if you're not playing with friends, I feel like it can be kind of tedious.
Yeah.
Whereas Balatro, you don't need friends for Balatro. You just need yourself. But no, it's been awesome. I actually really like this. The one game I want to get to that I just haven't been giving enough time is Baldur's Gate. It's like, kudos. You guys did a freaking great job with Baldur's Gate. Larian specifically. You're not, I forgot, you're not interested in Baldur's Gate at all.
Yeah, I'm not a big Baldur's Gate guy. I'm not a big D&D guy.
That's interesting. I feel like, well, I don't know. Do you play any RPGs?
Not games that are specifically RPG centric. Like I'll play games that are categorized as RPGs, but I don't play them for the fact that they're RPGs.
Wait, what? What do you play that's categorized as an RPG that you don't play for the RPG aspects?
There is a million games that are categorized as RPG. RPG is a very loose description of stuff.
I feel like role-playing game... Oh, did I just fucking discard? Oh my god. I think the game... You're right, I do need another drink. I just discard my only...
Fair, you just discarded into a straight, so...
No, So, yeah. Did I though?
Like
you
discarded bad, but you did discard into a 7, 8, 9, or was it a straight? I thought it was a straight.
No, we're close. We're close on a lot of fronts here, Will, but...
No, yeah, that was 100% a straight. You had a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
No, I discarded the pair. I was trying to play the pair. I'm just trying to get the Jolly Joker to go off, and because I have ride the
2 6s, I got it.
Yeah. No. Yep. God, I'm screwed. I don't know what I do here. I just guess I play a high card. I just play a high card and let's cross my fingers on like getting a decent pair. Getting a decent pair. The only reason I'm doing this is specifically because I have this Ride the Bus Joker. I've never played for it, and I'm trying to play for it, so... Okay, 2 pair. We did it. I guess I don't quit. Because I don't think aces count as face cards, right? Nope, I guess not.
I'm sorry, Patrick. Do you think a letter is a face?
I mean, it's up there in value, so I just assumed. I don't know. In my mind, there's no face on it, but it is. Oh, what the fuck is that? There's no face on it. Okay, yes, Will, I get that. But what I'm saying is, it's a different symbol than a number. So, but I guess it's meant to represent one and a high card. So I guess I don't know.
The reason that an ace is not considered a face card in most card games is because the art on an ace is just the suit symbol, whereas with a king, queen, jack, it's the human holding a thing.
Yeah.
So ace is typically not seen as a face card, but there are some card games that will count as a face card. It depends on what you're playing.
Bro, I've never gotten this. Troubadour? That's pretty sick.
Freaking rainbow pajamas.
Rainbow Pajama Man. Well, there are cards that care about the number of jokers you have. In the black deck, when you play this version of Balatro, the black deck version, you get an extra joker anyway, so this is a lot of jokers I'm playing with. Alright, let's go. This will be the last hand for me. Play only one hand. Great. So the +2 hand I got didn't freaking matter. But +2 hand size, excuse me. We probably lose here, actually. For 2,800. I mean, I guess this 2 pair is my best hand, and then I can use this. Well, actually, wait. So I convert the left card into the right card, right? So technically, I'm also looking at a full house here, but the full house would fuck up my ride on the bus. So... Oh, nothing. You didn't miss anything. I'm just trying to not lose this ante here. Yes, the full house is there. Yes, I saw it. And at any rate, this will probably be the last round before I close this one out, but I don't know. There's fucking crushed it, thank God. Okay. I'll finish this hand later. I've had the toughest time trying to finish out the black deck in this game. I don't know why. If you guys have any Balatro secrets, don't share them with me. Because I am really trying to just learn this game myself so I can make better decisions with it. But it's weird. You're not thinking like a poker player. You're thinking like a guy who cares about math way too hard. But no, this game's been good, man.
Like a nerd.
You think like a nerd when you play Balatro. That's a simple fact. It's so fun though, dude. I think you're gonna enjoy it a lot, or at least I hope you do. I'm glad you bought it. I wish it was multiplayer, like we could play against each other, like for the highest hand, but I don't know that that's a function of this game yet. But I would highly recommend this game, and I definitely I want to play. What is it? Solar Ash? No. God, I keep forgetting the name.
That's the hard engine game that I
right,
on
but the one that's coming out. I'm
a Hyperlight Breaker.
I'm just waiting for that. There's no
that
way.
Game looks so good.
Unless we were strictly playing to discuss the game, I would want to play the shit out of Dragon's Dogma. But I couldn't focus on any conversation. If I could hardly focus here. I can't focus if we're playing Dragon's Dogma. Sadly, Dragon's Dogma is not multiplayer. But if you want to open the rest of these packs, well, we can. Might
as well at least end out the stream with 2 more packs, one for you, one for me.
Well, there's only 4 to go.
If we want to crack the rest of them, then yeah, we can do that.
Well, this is interesting. So between today and tomorrow, I will have effectively opened a lot of Magic, a lot of Star Wars, and a lot of One Piece. Which, do I play too many TCGs? Maybe. I don't know. Should there be a limit, Will? What? How much can the typical human sustain when it comes to TCGs?
How big is your wallet?
Not that big. We well, I mean, maybe I should be more responsible, but I'm not. I don't know. I do want to potentially talk about Star Wars in the future on this channel, but it come via stream. And right now, I think people are still in the theory crafting stage of like what makes a competitive deck. I'm sure that there are a few working theories, but there are a few leaders that I think in that game. I'm not even considering base combinations outside of color, but I think there are a few that will just like make smashing decks. I just haven't given myself the chance to construct them, mostly because I want to see what I open. But it's tough when you start a new TCG, dude. Like, I was this way with One Piece, and I'm definitely being apprehensive with Star Wars, but part of me is like, should I have just bought more boxes when they were sub $90? Because Lord knows how much Star Wars TCG is gonna. Star Wars Unlimited is gonna be like a couple months down the road, you know. Okay, so this is your pack technically. Due Diligence, Extract Confession. Pockets are deep with this one, dude. I wish pockets are deep with this one. I wish I had Jedi Mind Tricks to just heist.
Oh, is that the better Evolving Wilds?
Escape Tunnel.
Yeah, it's the better Evolving Wilds.
Will, I think it is. Yeah, it's weird. So much power creep. Concealed weapon. That's definitely not concealed, by the way.
Yeah.
That's just
it's Red's version of concealed.
Having it behind your back. That's as far as the red deck will go. You see, you can't see it. Oh, Lightning Helix, is the shit, by the way. I actually really like this card.
Great card in Modern.
Glintweaver. Planes, which I'm stealing from you.
Yeah, you can have it. I'm good with that.
You got debate answers too. Oh, but yours isn't foil. Not that you could tell.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Mine doesn't have that slight glint.
The dramatic ascension glint is real, though. You can actually see that. And those are the Tristani sisters, right? This is a story spotlight card? Of course.
I think so.
Case of the Ransacked Lap, Will.
Funny, because I bought a copy of that as well.
Enjoy. Anyways, 10th District Hero.
I bought a copy of that, but it never showed up, and I'm getting a refund on it, so I'm glad that I didn't get that copy yet.
What about Merchant of Truth? Did you already buy the copy of this?
Which one is that? Is that Investigate on upkeep if someone has more cards in hand?
Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, investigate. Clues you control have exalted.
I didn't get a copy of that ever, and I wasn't planning to, but I will definitely be using that.
Wojak Investigator.
Nice.
I think. Oh,
wait. Was the Wojak Investigator? That was the investigate if an opponent has more, right?
Right. Well, here, let's put this back in order. So, Flying Vigilance at the beginning of your upkeep, investigate once for each opponent who has more cards in hand than you.
That card's dumb. I didn't buy a copy because it was too expensive,
and
or too expensive for random pickups.
Was it really too expensive for a random pickup?
It was like $8 or $9 when I was looking at it. It's a white draw card. People like it. It makes it out of artifact tokens.
Krenko's Buzz Crusher?
I don't even know what that does.
Do you want to know what it does?
Sure.
When Krenko's Buzz Crusher enters the battlefield, for each player destroy up to one non-basic land that player controls. For each land destroyed this way, its controllers may search their library for a basic land, put onto the battlefield, tap and shuffle.
The ruined multicolor lands, got it.
I mean, that's kind of cute.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm happy with the 10th District Investigator guy because I actually wanted a copy of that for probably casual, but maybe competitive.
I mean, it looks sick. I think that other card seemed pretty interesting. I didn't... Honestly, I kind of glanced over that white card. Gearbane Orangutan, Benthic Criminologist, Defenestrated Phantom. What? Pick Your Poison. Yeah.
I picked up a copy of that already. Now you got a copy.
You picked your poison already?
Yeah. It's such a good card. The card's like the best green removal we've had in like years.
Is Sundering Titan legal in Commander? It is, right?
It's not.
Well, then it's a better Sundering Titan, Josh.
Well, no, Sundering Titan hit for each basic land.
I know, but like, if it's banned, then how good is it?
Yeah, true.
Expose the culprit. Okay. Furtive Courier, Insidious Roots,
You get the better art, but I got the more limited art, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Actually, no, didn't you get the other art too? I can't remember.
I forget, but I like this art so much more.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Agreed.
Pick Poison. Sweet. Yeah, no, the Pick Your Poison's great.
Pick Your Poison's such a broken card. I'm surprised that card's not played in like every single format right now. I think it might be teched in a bunch of formats actually. But
did I just
wait. It did the thing again.
Guys, I don't know how often this happens on the channel. Let me know if you open collector boosters yourself. But how often do you... Yeah, I feel like we need to like keep a running tally to see who among us has hit the most. The last one I remember was the double black gate, but I don't think that was the last one that occurred.
We had one previous stream. I think I pulled 2 copies of something.
Back to back, right? None of us has gotten the freaking crime novelist yet.
True, yeah.
I would trade a fugitive codebreaker for a crime novelist. Anyone.
Patrick, I got the code descrambler thing. That I got 2 copies of that.
Oh, yeah, the codex. Yeah. I think Pick Your Poison has played a decent bit. Okay.
Card's so good.
When this performer and other creatures turn face up... Okay, stop reading. Panoptic Projector. The next
weird
face down.
Panharmonicon.
Yeah, is it foily? It's always hard to tell. And Judith, Carnage Connoisseur.
Hey.
She foily? Some foily? It's really hard to tell with this set. Okay. Well, at least it won't crinkle. There's that Hunted Bone Brute.
Fun card.
Yeah, well, you said enough. Just fun.
Yeah,
Insidious Root is great tech for tie-up.
Insidious Roots is great in like 8 to 9 decks. It's such a good card, and that's the only deck that's great in. It's good in a bunch of other dumb decks. It's insane and casual.
I love these Thopter tokens, by the way. Actually, I don't want to spoil your thing, but I just want to see what the reverse end of the token was. Shock, look at you. Just take those bolts out. Give them the shock. On the job. Magnifying Glass. Topiary Panther. Polygraph Orb. Case of the Burning Mask. You're getting all the cases. Sumala Sentry. Forest. On the job. Gleaming Gear Drake. Case of the Locked Hothouse. Doppelgang.
My friend loves that card so much, and I hate that card. It's so mediocre.
Well, you got a little gift for him. Knowledge is Power. Thundering Falls. Is it foily?
Chevelle.
Chevelle, my friend. Chevelle. Assemble the Players. Wow, I use this in a lot of thumbnails. You get the foily one.
Yeah.
And the Thopter token.
All right, what are you getting in your last pack, Patrick?
I don't know. I really don't. But we're going to find out. The question is, how many people would... Can you guys in the audience tell me, please, who really likes watching unboxings? Like, I don't mind doing, like, packs if it's part of something else. But watching a total unboxing, I feel like is really reserved to, like, rip and ship live streamers that are actually selling product. And then everyone just consuming everyone else's pack opening for the... I don't know. What am I trying to say? The dopamine hit. It's like... I don't know. I never sit and watch them. If you guys enjoy watching, like, total... Because the question is, do I save the Star Wars boxes for when I can orchestrate a live stream for it? Or do I just enjoy... The reason I want to save it is, like, Will, I don't know. You've never cracked a pack quite like a Star Wars pack. They're so papery. They're so papery. It's the weirdest thing. I don't know what material they've made their packs out of, but it's like, actually, it's easier to open. I feel like such an old man saying that, but it's like pleasant to open.
I don't know why, but for some reason your webcam's saying that this is a thumbs up. Apparently
it is.
You gotta have the thumb popping out a little bit, like a little bit more of an angle.
Okay, here.
So, yeah.
Judith, super casual, fun. Michael Tyrant, Gave, some of the players, Arcades, casual. I'm not the biggest fan of watching box opens. Alpha Investments is the best, to be honest, because he opens cases and cases. One day. One day. That would be kind of fun to do. Like if we... Oh, okay. I won't get into it, but I'll think about it. A bubble smuggler. Shit, dude. What does a bubble smuggler do?
What are those bubbles full of is the real question.
Well, actually, by the time they noticed the missing vials, Glovax was 3 fathoms away. Well, I guess we know now. Vials. But what was in the vials? God only knows. More answers to demand. More witnesses of granite. Long goodbye.
There you go! You wanted one, now you got one.
Oh, is this me? This is me. Wait,
yeah,
did you? I was gonna say, did you buy one of these?
I did not. I didn't
really
need one. I might pick one up later.
Well, it's funny because I pulled what would be arguably the better of them all, right? The Assassin's Trophy, but I still like Abrupt Decay, and I still think Long Goodbye is the shit. This is a good card.
It's playable because you can do it off color from Abrupt Decay.
Does Rudy from Alpha Investments not know how to... I don't know, like, I know he... I know a lot of people that follow him and do his Patreon and, like, buy from him. I can't say that the deals he cuts are always the best, but at least you're getting it from a trusted source, so there's that. Me personally, I'm always about finding the best deal, and I don't mind putting in the legwork and just crossing my fingers, I guess. But I don't know that he plays the games he collects or sells. Hedge Whisperer, Swamp. These are really cool lands. If you like symmetrical things, it's just very satisfying for my brain to look at. Culvert Ambusher? Okay. Slice from the Shed. A slice! This sounds like a pizzeria in a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film. Or it sounds like the name of a TMNT film. I don't hate the guy; he's a good streamer. I've never really watched him, but I watched some of his topical videos for sure. Whenever he's talking about the industry, because I'm not an MTG finance guy, but I am curious every now and then when like a big change occurs. So I'll watch when he talks about it. Do you watch much of what are you watching these days, Will?
A lot of random Minecraft stuff, if I'm being completely honest, because I'm like,
Really?
screw it, Minecraft content never goes out of style. Hey, Sleet Hook.
Lost in the Maze.
Yep, Sleet Hook. Let's go.
Flash, tap target creatures, put a stun counter on them. Tap creatures you control have hexproof.
It's a nice card.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to think of where I put it, because we also got the I think you kind of turned me onto it, March of Swirling Mist.
Yeah. Yep.
What do you... Is one just strictly better?
That's nice as a kind of protection tool, because if you have your creatures tapped, your opponents aren't killing them on their turn, so it's good anti-sorcery removal, but not the most relevant thing.
I have Duskmantle, sir. Bumblebee Tuna. Is this not a good card? I don't think we covered this card, so I'm going to assume it's not a good card. You may play lands and cast spells from among cards in your graveyard. You've surveilled this. Okay. Elegant Parlor.
Surveil.
And neither of these were foil? Hold up. Oh, never mind. I have one more card.
Yeah.
I like you guys from way back in the 99 Brewers days. I enjoy the set reviews and builds you guys do when you do them. Yeah, thank you. Sorry, I wasn't really fishing. I was just curious as to what you guys are watching. Man, I don't know. I watch a lot of LTT personally. If I'm on YouTube, it used to be MatPat for a good while with the Theorist channel. And to be honest, I'm probably not going to follow the Theorist network anymore. Like any of them. Game theory, film theory, food theory, style theory.
As we go off, we remember all the times we...
It's a fun card for sure. Yeah, a nice land. Thank you. Elegant Parlor. We've got Incinerator of the Guilty.
That is the most metal name ever.
Yeah, it sounds cool. That's a really good looking token, actually. What else is on the back? The detective. I watch decent CDH stuff. But not as much as I used to. Been working a lot. I brew a ton though. Yeah, honestly, like my favorite thing to do with this game is deck build. It's my favorite part about every game. Like I don't have the time to play these games at a competitive level seriously. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. If I was winning cash, what does it take outside of being sponsored and like a member of a team? I guess in Magic, but I don't know. Like that'd be kind of a cool pivot. I feel like I care enough about TCGs to play them competitively, but I'm not going out of my way to like participate in every league. I also like doing stuff that's off meta consistently so that it's always going to be a few cards shy of like the better decks so far as like hitting play lines consistently. And you know what's sad, dude? Like I literally, only because I was mostly interested in him with One Piece, I started playing Sakazuki, who was considered the best leader in that game. And they banned him. They banned the leader I actually liked playing that happened to be competitive that I just won a couple games recently with, actually. I know I shared that one winner card, but it's a real bummer, dude. Especially because I spent like $120 on an alternate art, and now it's like whatever, but that's a separate story. It just didn't feel like that was the right solution, especially because a lot of the problem cards that were actually problematic are still out there. I don't know. You can't control what these game companies do so far as their ban list or restrictions are concerned, but that shit annoys me. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Have you ever had an urge to just like pursue gaming competitively? Ever?
There have been very, very few times when I've actually done competitive gaming. There's a mobile game that I was the world champion in for a while, and it was a Cosmic Showdown. Not a massive game, but it was a game that I was the leader of it to the point where some of the devs were talking to me for balancing stuff in the game, and I'm like, we can all of this crap make all of this better. These things are horrible. These things need help.
I'm looking it up.
Yeah, it's a canon fighting PvP game. So Cosmic Showdown.
Is it still? Can you still play it now? 2018.
I think so.
Should we stream this? Why are we streaming this?
Because it is a somewhat old game, and it's also kind of tedious because you mostly play against AI.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I also believe that there's so few players that play the game right now that it's like you're probably only facing the AI.
Yeah, those tokens are sweet. Yeah, definitely deck building off meta is fun. I'm about it. Yeah. I think being a coach seems to be the mainstream way to play CDH your job, make CDH your job unless you're grinding tournaments enough for prizes and sponsors, right? I had a lot of people asking like years ago if I would coach them in Magic, and honestly, I didn't feel comfortable doing that. Also, it's like handing me the name your price gun on something like that is just awkward. Like, I can't evaluate how much value you're actually getting out of that exchange. Plus, I do it freely, so just absorb what we're saying during live streams. And it's weird, especially with Commander. I know a lot of people point at it and say, hey, look, this is a casual format. Stop taking it too seriously. And I can appreciate that. But people do want to play games competitively. That's the nature of games. Someone's supposed to win. You're just the person that wants to win, I guess. But it's interesting, though, because if you really look at our deck techs, and I think anyone's deck tech, you'll notice the same like 80 to 85% of the cards pretty much all the time, you know? That's the only reason I feel... What is the last... I guess Lazav was the last CDH commander we made that was like super viable?
I mean,
Is that fair? I mean, they're all good. That's my thing though, and frankly, I'm probably wrong for thinking this, but I feel like if you're a good player, you could probably pilot anything well enough to win, but not consistently, like Tibet.
I think Curie might be one of the higher CDH viabilities as well because
You really think so?
like,
We really boosted her.
yeah, it's because the one issue with blue and CDH is your only ways of drawing are Mystic and Rhystic, and Curie gives you consistent draw outside of Rhystic and Mystic, and then you get a specific card off Curie, and then you're drawing like your entire deck over a couple turns and just winning the game.
But what sucks is when they thwart. I was thinking to myself, like, what happens when they just kill Curie and I don't have an answer, and like the thing is exiled, and I also don't have a card. Let's just say that things like when we play tested Curie, they went all right. They all went in the right direction because I literally had like infinite mana, Karn, get the Phyrexian Dreadnought back up, counterspell, extra turn, drew another extra turn. Like it was never going to stop. And then I had the Trinket Mage or whatever to find the Thought Vessel. It was just a grossly effective sequence of events that I don't think. I don't know, like I don't know the consistency of that. But we only did 2 play test, mind you. So, yeah, I don't know. More deck techs. I think you can expect at least from the streams going into the future. I like the game and chats because it gives us an excuse to play games. I do want to do more multiplayer games, for Will's sake. I want to make sure that we're both getting to play. I just wanted to showcase Balatro because I'm obsessed with it. I'm kind of new to watching you guys. Oh, I'm glad you're watching. If any of you guys, Oswald, Arkham, Daxam, and Curie, hell yeah. We've never really done a proper deck tech for your Arkham list.
That's more or less the exact same that you'd see for the Oswald deck, except I run a chromatic. And that's
awkward and like the battle sphere or whatever, like shield sphere. What is it?
Yeah,
you got some weird creatures in there.
Yeah, I run all the 0-drop artifact creatures just because I can play them, use Arkham Tournament to the One Ring or a Clock or something dumb.
Oh man, you're still trying to make Machine Gun Marath work, thanks to your inspiration from years past, Christopher. I love Marath. I still love Marath. I think has that part of the color pie gotten anything better? Naya, right?
I mean, green has been getting a couple interesting things here and there, but I think it's primarily... Has there been anything great in red? Not really anything great in red. For white...
For this kind of strategy, there's a lot of counter manipulation that's come out in recent date that's probably great for Marath.
Yeah, there's a couple things here and there that I can probably think of that are decent Marath. I've brought them up here and there, but I can't remember any of them off the top of my head for some reason.
Mm-hmm. That's so interesting. Yeah, Josh. You know what's funny? Like, I'm convinced the ring is literally the most broken thing, so Oswald and Arkham are perfect. Yeah. I think that's why... I don't know. I mean, that's certainly why we made a video about the One Ring, and then Dex meant to manipulate it. And we get comments on that video where people are like, why didn't you mention this Tymna pairing, or why didn't you? It's like, well, I get like those decks are good and could just play the One Ring. Like the point was talking about commanders that are seeking to pilot specifically for the One Ring. And I think Arkham and Oswald are probably the best for it if we're just talking about consistently putting it on the battlefield. I don't think there are legendaries that do it better. I guess Tymna might draw into it, but with the amount of creatures these days, I feel like Tymna doesn't have a great amount of attacks. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. She's getting more and more blockers out there. Anyways, guys, I am going to... I'm sure my wife is here, or I said I would do dinner. Maybe she's still hungry. We'll see. This has been a weird week, but I know there haven't been as many streams this week as regular, but next week we should be able to do, now that I'm sort of with a regular schedule. Is there a legendary you want to brew for in particular, or anything you want to hit next week?
If we wanted to do something for... Or do you mean next week or tomorrow?
I'm sorry. Neither. because I don't know when I'll actually be home from all this One Piece nonsense. And I'm on a flight Friday morning of next week, but we could certainly do like a Thursday stream next week for some. Do you want to do a Johnny?
We could do something with the new Johnny, but we can also just make that a game, straight up game day to make up for the previous missed game day.
Yeah. If you guys want to participate in FNMs, definitely hang out on the Discord. We should be doing one soon. I would like to make it the last Friday. So I guess Good Friday this month. The last Friday of every month. But we could throw another one in. We'll see. But guys, thanks for hanging out on this stream. We should be doing, again, more of these in the future. Do expect some more pre-recorded deck techs for One Piece. Sorcery content, of course. Again, like Will said before, it's true. There haven't been very many major changes to the game, but I'll definitely want to have a stream after the major stream, March of the Mortals, and maybe Star Wars content soon. Maybe I'm spreading my mind a little too thin on these games, but I enjoyed it when I went out to play it. I don't know how seriously I'm going to take it competitively. I just know I want to do a Luke Skywalker deck because I think he's an awesome character, but he's also just a really good card. Ionis genetics expert. I know we didn't really think much of Ionis, but that's another counter manipulating deck, right? We could maybe do that.
Yeah.
But on that, Will, any thoughts before we close this one out?
I will give my obligatory. If you liked any of the cards that we brought up or just want to support the channel, use our TCG player affiliate link to buy any of these things. And if you want to join us for any gameplays while we're building out decks, or if we're just doing an FNM, join us on an FNM stream. It's usually starts at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Mm-hmm. And I hope you guys enjoyed our live stream.
I would say maybe 6:30 moving forward, but that's to be determined. Will's right. 6 p.m. Eastern Standard. See you guys.
See ya.
Yeah, because